Yes, now, bless now. Slayer! There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. You know what we're doing. We're looking into Slayer's history. We're going to move on now to Show No Mercy, the debut LP. Bada bing! So, if anyone's got any disagreements with what's been spoken on, anybody agree, anybody's got any commentation, let me know. Show No Mercy is the debut studio album by American thrash metal band Slayer, released in December '83 by Metal Blade Records. Brian Slagel signed the band to the label after watching them to perform the song Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden. What? What? But I've done a little cheeky review of the album Show No Mercy. There's quite a few Iron Maiden licks in there, quite a few Iron Maiden riffs, so I gotta put some respect on Maiden for it, for influencing Slayer. The band self-financed their full-length debut, combining the savings of vocalist Tom Araya, who was employed as a respiratory therapist, and money borrowed from guitarist Kerry King's father. I do wonder how much it cost. Hopefully it tells us later on in the article. Touring extensively promoting the album, the band brought close friends and family members along for the trip who helped backstage with lighting and sound. Although the album was criticised for its poor production quality, it became Metal Blade's highest selling release, producing the songs The Antichrist, Die by the Sword and Black Magic, which played at Slayer's live shows regularly. I thought the production was cool. I enjoyed the production. I think the production's pretty good. The Antichrist is a banger, one of the best riffs ever. It's punk rock 101, great riff. Die by the Sword, not my favourite. Die by the Sword. Not my favourite. Black Magic is a timeless thrash metal classic. Can't be denied. Recording, Slayer was the opening band at Woodstock Club in Los Angeles, performing 8 songs. Okay, so we've seen this back in the history of the band. So we know that Slagel signed them to Metal Blade Records, Slayer in the right place at the right time. Recorded in LA, California, Show No Mercy was financed. Okay, we read this. King says the album is effing Iron Maiden here and there. Vocalist Araya asserts Venom, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and Merciful Fate were big influences on the record, as guitarist King was into the satanic image. Gene Hoglan, later known as the drummer for bands like Dark Angel and Death, provided backing vocals on the song Evil Has No Boundaries. Interesting. Back at the time, it was Jeff Hanneman and Kerry doing their Evil. You know, it didn't sound too heavy, and I mentioned to Tom or Jeff or somebody, like, you guys should consider doing like big gang vocals on that. Make it sound evil like demons and stuff. And they were like, good idea. But how about now we got about 8 dudes sitting around in the studio, and now everybody jumped up and yelled, evil! So I was like, cool, because I'm like, I want to sing on this record somehow, and that's how I can do it. Totally unplanned, you know. Sure enough, they were like, we have the time, let's do it. So I was like, yeah, I got to sing on it. On recording the drums, Slagle wanted drummer Dave Lombardo, so Lombardo was there from the get-go on the debut, to play without using cymbals due to the amount of noise they made, as he was unsure if he could siphon the noise out, which he eventually did. Imagine if he were playing with no bloody cymbals. The band used satanic themes in both lyrics and live performances to gain notice among the metal community. The back cover featured side 666 and inverted crosses, with Hanneman playing his guitar. Due to the imagery and lyrical content, Slayer received mail from the Parents Music Resource Centre telling the band to stop releasing records. Araya comments, back then you had that PMRC who literally took everything to heart, when in actuality you're trying to create an image, you're trying to scare people on purpose. The album produced the songs, The Antichrist, Die by the Sword and Black Magic were played at Slayer's live shows regularly. And that's the truth of the matter, because external to metal, yeah, but inside of metal as well, metalheads take these bands so serious. The majority of it is a theme, is an image, is a gimmick, is a potential interest. The Slayer write a little bit about secret societies and the occult, so there is some understanding and some interest within the matter, but it doesn't mean they are there casting black magic and creating, all of these, witchcrafty wizardry tinglings in their spare time. They're just normal dudes who like metal music and have created this image and this reality. That goes with a lot of black metal bands and a lot of hardcore bands who say I'm a big tough guy, and in fact the reality is not, but people buy their music regardless because it bloody works. It's like wrestlers having a gimmick. A lot of these bands have that. Touring, the band went on their first tour of the US after the album's release. Slayer gave the band a list of addresses and contact numbers at the venues. Araya was still working at the hospital and called the members saying, "Today's the day, are we going to do this?" The band knew if they did not tour now, they never would. So they set out taking Araya's Camaro and U-Haul. What's a U-Haul? It's an American moving truck trailer and self-storage rental company. During the first leg of the tour, Slayer had no management. Doug Goodman, who had met the band when he was first in line for their show in Northern California opening for Lars Rocket, took a vacation from his job at a grocery store to help out on the tour, eventually becoming the band's tour guide. Goodman now tour manages acts such as Green Day and Beck. Shout out to my man Goodman. Kevin Reed, a friend of the band, set up the drums and lighting when touring with the band. Reed's father, Lawrence R. Reed, drew the Minotaur with a sword on the album's cover. Yes, hard. Solid artwork. Used to have it on a t-shirt. It was hard as nails, man. Araya's younger brother, Johnny, who was 13 or 14 at the time, was a roadie who set up the backline and sound. The band hardly made enough money to sustain themselves, only buying the essentials such as food, gas and beer. Araya asserts, "We basically used whatever money we got from get to point A to point B. When we got back, Brian was like, 'So where's the money?' And we were like, 'What money?' At that time, we didn't realise yet you had to ask for money up front. I think he got a lot of money sent directly to him, and we were supposed to pick up the rest." The band performed in a hotel in Winnipeg, where the basement was the club. Araya comments, "We stayed there for like 4 or 5 days. I think we saw Verbal Abuse play there. Then we played a place in Boston called the Lizard Lounge. In fact, a car had run into the front of the building and it was all boarded up, but we still played there. When one of the guitarists broke a string, Araya would hand him the bass. Hanneman stating, we'd argue about it too, like, I want to play bass for a while." I don't really get that reference. Pretty good professional ratings. All Music did rate it 2 out of 5 stars. Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal, 7 out of 10. Kerrang! Unfavourable. Metal Forces and Rock Hard, 9 out of 10. The Rolling Stone Album Guide, 3 out of 5. And Sputnik Music, 4 out of 5. So let's read about the reception. Although the band did not have enough time to sell any records while touring, the album became Metal Blade's highest selling release. 5,000 copies was the label's average. Show No Mercy went on to sell between 15,500 and 20,000 copies in the US. It also went on to sell more than 15,000 overseas, as Metal Blade had worldwide rights. The success of the album led to Slayer wanting the band to release a new record and an extended play, which is an EP. Show No Mercy was met with polarised opinions when it was issued, but in some recent reviews it came to be considered a classic album. In '84, Dave Dixon of Kerrang! Crushed the album, defining it pure, unadulterated junk, while Bernard Doe of Metal Forces called the record one of the heaviest, fastest, most awesome albums of all time. The German magazine Rock Hard gave Show No Mercy a positive review, which remarked how Slayer were actually the hardest and fastest in comparison with their contemporaries Metallica and Exciter, and defined their music as heavy metal punk. All Music reviewer Jeremy Ulrich had mixed feelings towards the album, saying that even though the musicianship and production were amateurist compared to Slayer's later releases, the album remains solid, if an essential part of Slayer's legacy. Users voted 4 out of 5 at All Music. Sputnik Music staff member Herman M. Campbell described the album as fast, heavy and mean, inducing an inescapable atmosphere of utter atrocity. He noted that the lo-fi production quality gave the album a classic feel, and I agree. I think the production is spot on for what it is, personally. I don't know why people are calling the production bad. Canadian journalist Martin Popoff praised Show No Mercy for being seminal as Metallica's Kill 'Em All in defining state-of-the-art speed metal and for inspiring new bands to expand the limits of metal. However, he found the record stiff and one-dimensional, with its style laid down in stifling arrangements. Fenriz, the drummer of Dark Throne, cited Show No Mercy as the inspiration for the band's current style of fusing new wave of British heavy metal with black metal. Terry Butler of Obituary and former member of Death defined the album as the blueprint for the beginning of death metal. Jesus! And said, when I heard Show No Mercy, I wanted to play that way. It was a whole new level of mayhem. I wanted to play that way. System of a Down's Darren Malakian had praised Show No Mercy as an influential album that helped shape him as a person and as an artist. He claimed he introduced heavy metal with his album to Iraq. He claimed he introduced heavy metal with this album to Iraq when he lived there at age 14. I don't really get that. Sometimes Wikipedia makes no sense. But let's have a look at the track listing. As far as credits, Kerry King wrote Evil Has No Boundaries. Well, we've got the music and the lyrics. Hanneman, King, Hanneman, King. How interesting that Tom Araya is sort of the Liam Gallagher of the group. He's not writing the lyrical content whatsoever. So Hanneman and King must, at this stage, must be loaded. Obviously we know about Hanneman, but there must have been an incredible credit to these guitarists over the years. That's absolutely wild. Araya's probably gutted, you know. I wonder how much he started writing on the later records. And I know it's not all about the it's not all about the money, man. But you know, when you're fronting the band, you want to make some money, don't you? Yeah, that's crazy. So that's Show No Mercy. We're gonna move on to Hell Awaits now, people, and Haunting the Chapel. All right, hold on tight.